Good evening, everyone. My name is Rick Pierce. I'll be your MC for this evening. I am President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce serving Middletown, Monroe, and Trenton, and welcome to the 2017 State of the City Address given by Mayor Larry Mulligan. It's my privilege to call up Father John Seville, pastor of Holy Family Parish, for the invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we gather, we're ever mindful of the many blessings you give our city. Tonight we'd ask your special blessing, our elected officials. Give them the wisdom to carry out their job. Give them strength when going gets rough. Give them compassion for the good of all our citizens. May you be praised forever and ever. Amen.
Now we'll have the presentation of the colors by the Middletown Police and Fire Honor Guard. Now we'll begin the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. To hear some highlights from our schools this year, President of the Board of Education, Dr. Chris Urso.
Good evening and welcome. As President of the Middletown Board of Education, it is a privilege to share the state of the district. Before beginning, I would like to extend congratulations to both Kathy Mulligan and Todd Moore on their success in being elected to the Middletown Board of Education, and to Amy Vittori and Joe Mulligan on being elected to Middletown City Council. Thank you for sharing your time and talents for the betterment of our community. Secondly, on behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to extend our appreciation to our colleague, Marcia Andrew. For 12 years, Marcia has humbly and graciously shared her discerning intellect and passion for public education. Her insights will be missed, but also her pleasant demeanor. Lastly, I'd like to express my appreciation to Mayor Mulligan for inviting me to speak this evening. 5 areas of concentration will serve as the foundation of my talk. Embedded within each area are action plans derived from the strategic plan that provide logical intersection points to address district deficits. Academic achievement and MIDI modernization movement, finance, communication, safety, and transition from historical Middletown Middle building to the new Briel campus. The most prominent measure of a school district's efficacy is the state report card. Where there are highlights on state measures of performance, there are also areas that require improvement. Compared to data from 2012, our district 4-year graduation rate has increased from 78.6% to 90% in 2016. And 5-year rate from 85.8% to 92.6%. Stated differently, from 2012 to 2016, approximately 40 more students per year graduated. 40 more young people transitioned from our schools to better employment, educational, and life opportunities. With changing state requirements for graduation this year, Middletown City Schools is being proactive to ensure our graduates successfully meet the new point system parameters. To be clear, many families are anxious about the changes that are being implemented. Middletown City Schools will work tirelessly to ensure our kids successfully meet these new challenges. The vision of the Board of Education is one that our graduates leave our schools as confident and both emotionally and intellectually prepared young adults. Our intent is that our diploma represents valuable collateral that institutions of higher learning and employers can appreciate as they make investments in our young people. This is a process that requires an intentional focus. With leadership imparted by our new superintendent, Marlon Stiles, there's a concerted effort to modernize the methods in which we educate students to produce graduates with endless opportunities. Various examples clarify the MIDI modernization movement. One such example is the attention that's being placed on creating a data-literate culture. With the right data used in the right way, we can be more intentional and prescriptive with how our instruction and how we use our resources. Professional development is being used to develop skills in staff so they can more readily and intently use data to accelerate student growth. At Wildwood Elementary, Principal Carrie Hensley uses effective data practices with her staff to truly drive instruction. She has MAP data points. MAP refers to a measure of academic progress and is a computerized adaptive test which helps teachers, parents, and administrators improve learning for all students and make informed decisions to promote a child's academic growth. Wildwood has been proactive in using MAP data on every student. Her leadership team engages in discussion on the academic needs of students based on the data. Once the needs are determined, the focus shifts to identifying the most effective strategies to meet student needs. These high-quality practices are yielding an increase in achievement for her students. With the intent of growing resilient, academic-minded problem solvers, we have design teams across the district developing STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, innovation labs for K-8 students. Over the next 3 years, all K-8 buildings will engage students in STEAM skills. We are in the process of exploring opportunities to connect with local industry partners to make these real-world experiences for our students. We realize that strong partnerships with local businesses and community partners allows opportunities to more fully leverage fiscal and human resources. Moreover, our students, our community, and our businesses all benefit when we collaborate. The district finances are the strongest and most stable they have been since 2002, and the Board of Education commends our treasurer, Randy Bertram. Middletown City Schools initiated a cash reserve policy in 2015 and have controlled expenses below what we spent in 2010. Our concentration in spending is on student instruction. Currently, the district is spending 58% of the general fund budget on instructional costs, with the remaining going towards instructional pupil support, 8%, staff support at 1.75%, administrative cost, 12%, and operational expenses are 20%. The district is working on driving more expenditures towards instruction while reducing the other 4 areas. Other areas of required expenses are textbooks and electronics textbooks at around $400,000 annually, preschool expansion up to $600,000, capital outlay for a student and family health center, a $400,000 one-time expense, capital outlay for a connector between the high school arena and new middle school is estimated at $400,000, and annually dedicating $500,000 to the District Permanent Improvement Fund to maintain existing buildings and grounds. The district revenue stream from the state is growing steadily, and with the completion of the new NTE Energy power plant in 2018, the district will realize an initial gain in revenue starting in 2020. The district will see growth in tax revenue of around $1 million annually starting in 2020. The district will see decreases in state funding of $40,000 in 2020 and grow annually. The long-term effects of the power plant are yet to be determined, but in the short run of the next 5 to 10 years, it will bring in more revenues to the district. The district understands the importance of being fiscally responsible, and we have taken care for the oversight of the district finances. We have internal controls in place, developed prudent financial policy, learned from past mistakes, and have even prepared for the unexpected. We will continually evaluate revenues, expenses, and assets to maintain strong financial footing. With the improvements in market conditions, increases in property values, and with increasing revenue and controlled expenditures, the district does not anticipate an operating tax levy through at least 2022, which is a good thing. The district has enhanced its internal and external communication efforts. Our community has shared positive feedback on the district's social media presence. We are working to improve the functionality of our website. We are in the process of planning community engagement events to share the vision of the strategic plan. There is a concerted effort to find a balance in how Middletown City School communicates. We fully acknowledge that there are areas in which growth is imperative and transparency is vital. However, we cannot be defined by our deficiencies. Our story must be one that is forward-thinking and engaging. We have much to be excited about and have strong teachers and leaders in our district that are thoughtful, hardworking, and driven to inspire, unite, and to transform. In early fall, the Board of Education visited Rosa Parks, Creekview, Amanda, Mayfield, Highview, and the middle school. The schools we visited were safe, were calm, welcoming, and engaging. It was evident that our administrators and staff took time to invest in expectations, safety, routines, and build relationships with students. This year, every building has conducted positive behavior incentives to encourage desired school behaviors. Bullying is a phrase that continues to surface across the district. We have detailed procedures in place to investigate any bullying claim. In every investigation, open lines of communication are maintained with parents involved. We take these claims seriously, which is why we have district procedures in place. With that said, earlier this year, several buildings participated in the Stomp Out Bullying campaign. Channel 5 did coverage of the events at Wildwood this year. The safety of our students is the utmost priority for our district. We have standards and expectations for students and adults. With confidence, I can report we take violations to the Code of Conduct very seriously to ensure learning environments are free from disruption. Weapons, illegal substances, bullying, fights, or unsafe behaviors are not tolerated. Recently, we worked with school resource officers and the Middletown Police Department to conduct building sweeps of both Middletown High School and middle school with narcotic dogs, including random locker searches. I'm happy to report we found no illegal substances or weapons in those searches. Notwithstanding, our schools still confront behavior issues, as evidenced in various events that local news have reported on. In a national student voice survey conducted by Quaglia and Corso of more than 66,000 students in grades 6 through 12, eye-opening information was revealed. 53% of students nationally feel they have no voice in their school. Only 52% of students said their teachers were willing to learn from them. 50% of students said they knew the goals that their school was working on this year. When it came to self-worth, 46% of students felt they were a valued member of their school community. 51% thought their teacher would care if they were absent. 60% nationally answered that they were proud of their school. And finally, when it came to engagement, 43% of students said school was boring. 44% of students said their classes helped them understand what is happening in their everyday life. And 66% said they feel comfortable asking questions in their classes. Applying national trends to our school district, likely 50% or more of our students believe that their school experience could be better. As adults, it is our responsibility to create healthier relationships and more relevant classroom experiences for students, and in doing so, unproductive behaviors will decline. This is why Middletown City Schools has focused attention on modernizing. When students see a practical route to success, when they are confident about their future, then good behavior typically follows. On December 9th, we opened the new Wade E. Miller Arena. Not forgotten, in the new arena is the rich history that is tied to our old building. It is this rich history that serves as a foundation of what is possible with the new and renovated facilities. Buildings only provide an opportunity. It is people that have the ability to harness these opportunities to create something better. Both the renovated high school and new middle school are scheduled to open in August of 2018. We have an opportunity, due to the generosity and dedication of so many, to create better learning spaces for our young people. I'm forced to think back to 1923, almost 95 years ago, when the high school, now middle school, first opened. The work of previous generations provided a gift to Middletown that we've been able to enjoy for so long. They created a school where scholars were developed and championships were won. Their gift forever changed the world. We now have a similar opportunity and responsibility to use a building to build Midi scholars and champions. Middletown City Schools are built on Midi pride. We respect history and past successes of our district. Our campaign to modernize centers on capitalizing on the foundation that's already in place. Amanda New, math teacher at Highview, is a perfect example of a Middletown City School District teacher who is truly modernizing how she teaches. She offers students a classroom environment where students have choice in how they demonstrate their understanding of the subject matter. Students are expected to demonstrate 80% mastery on each activity prior to moving forward. Ms. New functions as the facilitator of learning and provides support based on student data. By modernizing, we are committing to better meeting the needs of all students by doing things differently. How can we better personalize the learning environment of our students? How can the presence of technology allow us to better engage our students? How can we redefine industry partnerships to engage our students in real-world learning experiences? Together, we are taking the responsibility to rise up and be the reason to ensure the movement to modernize takes place. Oliver Wendell Holmes famously stated, "Greatness is not where we stand, but in what direction we are moving." Middletown City Schools are moving forward, and together, anything is possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris, for sharing the updates on the school. Appreciate you sharing the great things that are happening with the Midi modernization movement and the good things that are happening. Certainly a lot of great progress over the past year, and I appreciate the work you and the school board are doing on that. I want to pass along my thanks to Rick for serving as master of ceremonies this evening. The work the Chamber does in the community is a real testament to the partnership we have with the business community and the city here in Middletown. And thanks to Father Seville for offering tonight's invocation. The work he does in the community and the leadership he provides is pretty important. The St. Vincent de Paul Society at Holy Family helps those in need here in Middletown, as well as the partnership they have with Shalom and many other activities you and others do to help build up our city. We're fortunate to have an active faith community here in Middletown. And I'd like to express my thanks for everyone for coming out this evening on such a cold day. I did this in December as opposed to March and didn't know I'd have such cold weather. I got that in March too. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge my family, especially my wife, Kristen. She recognizes that the role of mayor demands a huge time commitment and frequent disruption of schedules and plans. I appreciate her grace and generosity in accepting the sacrifices she makes in supporting me in my mayorship. She supports me in everything I do, and has willingly given up her time with me as I work toward the betterment of Middletown. I'm fortunate to have such a loving and caring family that enables me to do my commitment to my hometown. I'd like to offer my best wishes to our outgoing council members, Dora Bronston, Dan Picard. I appreciate your service and your time on council. You both provided great insight and perspectives and that really helped advance the city, and I wish you well in the future. In 2018, we'll be welcoming Amy Vittori and my brother Joe to City Council. Both bring professionalism, experience, new ideas, and perspectives to the table. I look forward to working with both of them in the coming months and years. And also thanks and gratitude goes to our other council members, Steve Bohannon and Tal Moon. Both have completed their freshman year and are well into their second year here. Their commitment to the city, their support, thoughtful deliberations, again, are very much appreciated. People serve on city council not because of any perks, but rather because of their dedication to leading the city to a brighter future. Also should not go without mentioning thanks to Amy Skank and Nadine Begley for their help in organizing tonight's agenda and activities, and to the Police and Fire Honor Guard for their participation in the State of the City address. City Manager Doug Atkins and his leadership team, as well as the employees of the city, are to be commended for the daily work they do to advance the city. The direction for the city are set by council, then implemented by Mr. Atkins and his staff. It's important that we work together for a common vision for our collective betterment. It's been about 18 months since my 2016 State of the City address. Moving it from the first quarter to the fourth quarter allows for some additional reflection on the year and also presents an opportunity to highlight plans for the coming year. As we look to the closing of 2017, the progress our city has made over the last several years, we should all be proud of those accomplishments and the progress. Over the past year, the city has recognized some significant milestones. The hospital, the chamber, and the YMCA all celebrated 100-year anniversaries. They joined many other companies which have long ties to Middletown. The state's first branch university campus, our own Miami University Middletown, celebrated its 50 years. These milestones actually highlight our bright past. We're grateful to those that have worked and contributed to the ongoing success of those organizations. As a community, we sometimes take for granted many of the longtime institutions, but honoring their anniversaries is an opportunity to applaud them in a special way. The state of the city reflects pride in our advancements during the year and, of course, our challenges that require much work as we go forward. Tonight, I'll speak about finances, housing, roads, economic development and jobs, sewers, the opioid problem, and quality of life here in Middletown. It's evident that all these are intertwined and interrelated with one another. Last year, I noted some of the challenges facing the city: roads, sewers, the heroin epidemic, and schools as a quality of life issue. We've made progress on all of those. We continue as critical areas of importance for the city. I'll touch on each issue and the progress we've made. First off, on finances. Financially, we're better off than we have been in many, many years. We've made good progress towards a sustainable financial model. However, we must continue to watch our expenses and revenues until we reach the point of a structurally balanced budget. In 2016, general fund revenues were $27.4 million, but expenses were $28.3 million. The 2017 budget expected $29.7 in revenues and $30.3 million in expenses. So we're closing the gap. Encouragingly, actual results through 11 months of 2017 indicate that we were favorable to budget on revenues and lower on expenses. Coming off years of cuts and service reductions, it's important that we make strategic investments in our city and the services we offer. We remain committed to public safety, both police and fire, as it consumes 2/3 of our general fund budget. Council and I appreciate the dedication of city staff working through years without raises and doing more with less. We've maintained a general fund reserve balance in excess of 15% through this period. We've reduced our reserves to maintain some core services, but no organization can continue to spend down savings indefinitely. It appears we've reached a level where we can begin to build our reserves and address priorities, rather than making significant cuts year after year. As of the end of November, our reserve balance is at 22%. The city has been prudent over the past several years by deappropriating funding not used in the budget and keeping it available for future years. In housing, our city manager this year rolled out a detailed analysis of our housing conditions. Presentations began in May with an overview to council and continued through the year to various community groups and organizations. This marks the start of an important policy discussion and decisions as we move forward. I believe everyone can agree that quality housing with safe neighborhoods and increasing property values are all worthwhile goals. Now that we've addressed the extensive growth in Section 8 housing in the city and have reduced the number of vouchers in use, the next step will be to focus on abandoned and vacant properties, citing those slumlords and absentee landlords that create blight and bring down property values in many areas of the city. As many areas are interconnected, I will include another aspect of housing in the economic development portion of this address. In terms of roads, we have some challenges. The condition of our roads remains a concern for many as we move towards a sustainable structure. As we've made some incremental progress, and we will make additional progress, today we see and feel the impact of the policy decision of the mid-1980s to remove a dedicated capital improvement portion of our income taxes. That decision allowed conditions to deteriorate, maintenance to be deferred, and cost to increase. But that's looking back. So how do we move forward to solve it? It's complicated, but there are plans to make progress. Over the last several years, and with plans for 2018 through 2020, we will continue to dedicate funding to local streets. Over the last few years, the city made repaving a priority, with over $1 million per year spent on road repair. In 1997, 95% of our capital improvement funds are dedicated to our streets. We've made some progress in addressing major streets, but much work remains. The current analysis estimates the cost at $160 million, or $4 million a year over 30 years after other funding sources and requirements are included. This leads to the topic and critical nature of economic development and jobs in Middletown. We'll work to generate additional revenue by growing our job base, attracting new residents, and a balanced approach to spending on personnel and capital expenditures. All will go a long way to address this need. It's all related to economic development, our housing stock, and our workforce, key drivers of our city's revenue, income taxes, and property taxes. Growing the base with new opportunities creates additional revenue. That additional revenue will support road improvements. It will take several years, but in 2016 and thus far in 2017, we've made progress on our longer-term targets. Job growth in both retail and manufacturing can generate about $1.3 million a year in additional income tax revenue. Growth in attracting new families could generate another $300,000 in payroll taxes. An improved property tax base would generate $800,000 a year. And we're another year closer to completing the repayment of the debt on the removal of the City Center Mall. This will free up another $800,000 in 2020. These positive numbers will be the result of the city staying focused on our economic development, working with our business community, and improving our community, and will give us a partial funding solution to implement our plan for road repair. As we move forward, the City Council and the community will need to consider whether additional taxpayer funding is warranted to accelerate the improvements. Other communities around us have implemented levies to support roads and capital improvement. Given the significant reductions in local government funding, the repeal of the state estate tax, and reductions in the tangible personal property taxes, Middletown has lost $3 million, which represents 10% of our general fund revenue over previous years. While those decisions were out of our hands and made at the state level, it will be up to us to decide the best course forward for funding our road repair. We have other economic development activity and progress that will help fund our city going forward. With over 200 new apartments at Nicholas Place, the city will be able to attract new individuals and families. New home construction at sites like Renaissance and Sawyer's Mill, or renovated housing in our established neighborhoods will also attract and retain families. Ryan Homes was attracted to Middletown to offer homes in a key segment, move-up homes, to allow us to retain families as they grow. Ryan Homes focus on buyers who want a new home and want a turnkey handoff. They believe this region, and Middletown in particular, has a lot to offer. The housing study highlights a few key areas for the city to focus upon and set the direction for the future. A few years ago, the city took a calculated risk in acquiring key buildings downtown to spur economic development in the heart of our community. That yielded key anchors like the Pendleton Arts Center, the Windermere Event Center, and Cincinnati State's first branch campus in Butler County. We continue to see the progress made with over 30 new businesses opening up in downtown Middletown. For years, many thought downtown Middletown was dead, but through the dedication of many people, it has new life. We've also experienced growth throughout the city. Today, there are over 1,000 open positions for jobs at our major employers. The investment by Kettering in bulldozing a tired commercial site at the interstate will open up additional job opportunities. NTE will generate nearly 400 megawatts of electricity when they go live in 2018, finishing a $650 million investment and offering an efficient solution to power supply in the region. The town mall redevelopment continues. Small businesses like Dedicated Motivated or large new distribution centers in the Made Industrial Park all contribute to creating new jobs. There is additional growth opportunity with the update to the master plan at our airport. With our partners at Jobs Ohio and Ready Cincinnati, the city completed a comprehensive site selection study at the airport. There are over 100 acres of potential land for developments with aviation-related activities. This further leverages one of our assets and can accelerate our economic development activities for the years to come. It's the result of years of hard work to update the master plan, acquire access, and evaluate the potential. The new wind tunnel that Start Skydiving has spearheaded will be the largest in the country and will be a huge draw for research and development, further expanding on opportunities available at our airport. With all of our economic development efforts, we have an additional significant opportunity for us: workforce development, employees available for jobs in needed fields. This is tied directly to our future economic development and potential. Site selectors look for location, workforce, and infrastructure. We have a tremendous opportunity with our water and sewer capacity. NTE brings low-cost power availability. We have a prime location centered in the Dayton and Cincinnati MSA, soon to be a metroplex in a future census. That opens us up to the region's workforce. An able and skilled workforce is an opportunity for accelerating Middletown's growth. New programs at Cincinnati State, Miami University Regionals, and Butler Tech open up possibilities for many individuals to pursue a career and an education. We should celebrate and encourage the pursuit of a career just as we encourage the pursuit of higher education. There are many employment opportunities that don't require an advanced degree and offer solid employment and benefits. We've achieved measurable results illustrating the investment made in the city and the efforts expended to bring these benefits to the city: increased property values and job creation activity, major projects with over $700 million in new investments, and the more than 200 jobs that were created. Many communities would be envious of that level of investment and opportunities. With plans in place to address our roads and making progress on jobs and economic development, the other major infrastructure issue to address is our combined storm and wastewater sewer system. Not necessarily the most exciting topic, but it is important. Council made the difficult decision to raise sewer rates in advance of a future settlement. In setting aside these funds and addressing our current maintenance issues and with our current infrastructure, we will help once we reach a settlement. While we have not yet reached a settlement with the EPA, the city continues to work towards a reasonable solution. These are obviously lengthy, involved, and technical discussions. The expected result will be a solution that limits overflows in the river. while balancing the cost burden on our citizens and ratepayers. Sewer charges will continue to increase, and our aim is to make that as manageable as possible. Again, we're not alone in this. These are discussions that are occurring in many cities across the state and country. Most larger cities have resolved these matters at cost into the billions and are under consent decrees to implement their long-term control plans. Middletown continues to negotiate with the EPA to get an acceptable resolution to this matter. In addition, the water and sewer plants, along with the water and sewer pipes in older parts of the city, will require extensive renovations over the next 25 years. While the city has enjoyed lower water and sewer rates than most Southwest Ohio cities, Middletown must raise rates in the future to maintain compliance with federal regulations and to maintain the safety and reliability of our water and sewer infrastructure. City staff and our expert consultants will be formulating plans to address the solutions. The combined sewer resolution will require the ultimate approval of the EPA. It will be costly but necessary, and the city will be better positioned in the future once this is resolved. The opioid and addiction issues are affecting not only our city, but the entire region and other parts of the country. We were front and center of the attention this past summer when Councilman Picard's question on the escalating cost for Narcan was twisted into a national and international debate to overdose responses. In 2016, the city was also in the spotlight from the national attention that Middletown native J.D. Vance received for his memoir on his family's struggle and challenges he overcame. After the fervor died down from both, we continued on solutions just as we had since starting back in 2015. The positive from the attention was that it did create an opportunity for dialogues and debate, which helped raise awareness and attention on the issues. In focusing on solutions here locally, through the leadership of the city and Doug Atkins, along with Atrium Medical Center, we continued our summits to address a variety of ways to combat the impact of opioids, and we made significant progress, though like many things, work remains to be done. There are ways that we are addressing the impact locally. The first is education and prevention. As we work on treatment alternatives and crime prevention, it is critical that we educate everyone to prevent a new generation of addicts continuing the cycle. Much like the flu vaccine, education is our way to vaccinate to prevent its spread across children and adults. The second component is the identification and intervention group. They have evaluated programs that are starting and working in other communities and are evaluating ways to implement them here in Middletown. Some of their work includes follow-up with families, outreach into the community to raise awareness of potential options, and communicating the issues of the cost and impact of addiction. Our response team, consisting of a police officer, a paramedic, and a social worker familiar with addiction, has successfully referred over 200 individuals into treatment plans. The treatment and post-treatment group is evaluating the best way to access treatment and ongoing follow-up work for victims. The last group is focused on education and working with the community for youth activities. These will involve both in-school and community activities. The city is currently spending over $1 million to address the impact from opioids in direct police and EMS expenses that could certainly be spent and directed in other places. Heroin, opioids, and addiction and related issues are affecting many parts of the country, so we are not in this alone. We've stepped up enforcement activities on the prevention side with a 40% increase in drug-related arrests. We now have 5 canine units, all focused on searching for illegal drugs. Routine traffic stops turn into felony arrests for drug trafficking. We've stepped up our game. The Division of Police is collaborating with the Butler and Warren County Drug Task Forces, and we continue our partnership with the Ohio State Patrol. Addressing the flow of drugs and the volume is part of the solution. Helping those with addictions is another. Educating everyone about the impact and focusing on prevention and recovery is yet another. With the state and national attention on the national opioid epidemic, I'm hopeful that there will be additional ideas, solutions, and perhaps funding to address this national crisis. City Council and the City Manager both recognized there were issues to be addressed in our housing stock in the city. The need to address it has existed for some time. Indications of concern were evident after the recession, and the city worked to address some of the most problem areas and most significant blight. Some may remember that the city sent out over 1,000 code violation notices in 2010, which yielded some action, made some progress. We made some additional progress through the demolition of over 400 blighted structures. Ultimately, a comprehensive study was needed to fully understand the issues, the scope of the problems, and to begin discussions on the best way to move forward. Middletown has many positives with our housing stock, a wide variety of homes, neighborhoods, and amenities. There are some significant issues to address as well. We have abundance of starter homes, those priced at $100,000 or so, and are of great quality. With those great homes, there are many homes that are mere shells, vacant or abandoned, that drag down values of surrounding homes when they sell for $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000, and are converted into rental units where absentee landlords churn tenants to make a quick buck on their small investment. Since 2000, and really in the years immediately following the recession, Middletown experienced a significant increase in rental housing and vacant structures. In 2000, we were in line with the state and nation with about a 7% vacancy rate, or about 1,700 units. Rental units at the time were slightly above average, just about 40%, or 8,600 units. Fast forward to 2015, we found vacancies had doubled and rental units had increased to 47%. No one, including me, has issues with responsible landlords offering quality housing to individuals and families in Middletown. However, through the study, we see there are landlords who rent to anyone, then jam the courts with evictions and problems. Nearly 40% of the evictions in 2016 were generated by 10 landlords. Additionally, 30% of the evictions were multiple evictions, where tenants were evicted 2, 3, or even 8 times over the course of a year. And during the 6 months of the study, some of the most serious crimes that occurred in the city happened at rental units. Those landlords and the tenants they rent to are not contributing to our neighborhoods or our city, but rather drive up expenses and create blight. The city is stepping up enforcement, offering background checks for landlords, and working with responsible property owners to address these issues. There are neighborhoods that are completely built out, limiting options for new construction in those areas. Fortunately, we do have some opportunities in subdivisions for additional development. Ryan Homes is one such example. The city needs to explore ways to redevelop, revitalize, and support other neighborhoods as well. Some will be the result of increased code enforcement, making sure that homes are safe and maintained appropriately. I will encourage council to evaluate ways to work with homeowners to improve and update their homes with tax abatements that provide a carrot rather than a stick to update our housing stock. We made progress on improving the toolbox available to deal with problem properties through an ordinance to address nuisance properties in the city. We recognize that when we have repeated calls for police and ongoing issues with property maintenance or code violations, it must be addressed. The new ordinance holds the property owner responsible for addressing the issue. We arrived at this solution through the work with the Investment Property Owners Group and city staff. It's important that we appreciate and recognize responsible landlords, just as we must deal with those that are absentee landlords who have little regard for our community. The city, through the work of council and staff, completed the transfer of Section 8 vouchers to Butler and Warren counties and completed the dissolution of our housing agency. We closed out the agency and fund balances in 2015. This was the result of years of work, analysis, and negotiations. The growth in the Section 8 program that occurred in the late 90s and early 2000s had a significant adverse impact on our community. Looking back, city leaders at the time more than doubled the number of vouchers available. In my opinion, that was a significant error in policy. While many that would agree that providing safe, affordable housing is a noble goal, the proportions in Middletown were out of balance compared to other communities. We've effectively reduced the number of vouchers by a significant amount. With regular attrition and turnover, we should see further reductions. With the programs opened up as part of county systems, there are many other locations and more employment opportunities that are widely available to participants. This program grew for years and will take us several more to fully remediate the impact, but we are making progress. I'd like to offer my sincere thanks to the leadership and staff of our public safety forces. The multifaceted approach to combating crime and reducing calls for service has generated positive results, which are on top of significant reductions and progress made in 2015 and previous years. The Division of Police has expanded community outreach, focusing on churches, schools, and community groups. Total Part 1 crimes, those most serious crimes, are down 3% this year, following a significant reduction in previous years. Drug-related arrests and felony drug charges are both up over 40%, illustrating our focus on combating drug trafficking in the city. Theft-related crimes dropped 7%. We increased fire staffing through a SAFER grant and with a long-term plan to manage the cost and maintain the positions. Our recent overdose calls have declined, providing early indications that our strategies are generating results. These statistics show that our public safety forces, combined with other efforts, such as demolition of blighted buildings, are making Middletown a safer place. As for our schools, as Dr. Urso spoke, they're working on a new strategic plan. This involved a cross-section of the community throughout the process and gathered many inputs to develop this plan. It will lay the groundwork for the schools for the next several years, and I look forward to its rollout and its success in the coming months. The community can celebrate the new middle school and the major improvements to our high school. The new arena just opened, and while closing out an era of our bright past, it symbolizes opportunities for our brighter future. This summer, the community welcomed Marlon Stiles as the new superintendent. Mr. Stiles brings a new level of energy and dedication to our schools. While the overall performance results are combined into a single letter grade, digging into the underlying data, it's encouraging to see the schools are making progress in key areas. Education is a foundation for a lifetime, and without a solid foundation, children will not be in a position to succeed. We must work together to provide opportunities and build a solid foundation for our children's future, our city's future. I encourage everyone to take an active role with our schools and seek out areas where we can make a difference. Our future looks brighter. We have a plan in place to start addressing our road conditions. We are working on a plan for housing. We will resolve the sewer issues and the opioid crisis. Working together, we will improve school performance. We have the benefit of many great assets in our community, and will build upon those to achieve our greatest potential as a city. To be successful, we must provide balanced solutions to address a wide variety of needs in the city. Certainly, quality of life ranks high for many residents and prospective employers. Access to fun and exciting events and activities is an element of improved quality of life. For 3 years running, the city hosted an Independence Day fireworks show. The Broad Street Bash and weekend Taking It to the Streets concerts provided free entertainment during the summer. The Sword reopened a great performance by the Butler County Philharmonic Orchestra, the Ohio Balloon Challenge, and other events. And let's not forget Light Up Middletown. It's important that the city work to support events that benefit our residents and support our quality of life. We've led the way in Ohio with our outdoor refreshment area. All in all, it's been a great success and has helped drive activity downtown with a cool vibe. Many communities try to build the atmosphere we have in our downtown. Not only do we have it, but it's authentic and real. Many of the great events that occur in Middletown are the result of dedicated volunteers and citizens. They really love the city and contribute their time, talent, and treasure, and participate in fun and unique events. Thank you to all those who help make Middletown a great place to live, work, and play. Middletown is a great city. It's our city. We have challenges to address, and fortunately, plans are in place. We are proud of the many great things we have. We are well positioned to become even greater. It's an honor to serve as your mayor. Thank you for joining us this evening. May everyone have a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. May God continue to bless our great city, state, and nation. Thank you. It's been a tradition now for, we decided 11 years? 11 years now, to recognize Sonny Hill, a council member in the past before I served on council, but really made a difference in Middletown. And we recognize a citizen in the city who's really made an impact in terms of his outreach, or their outreach, and their commitment to the city. And it's a privilege to have Mrs. Pat Hill join us to present the award and offer a few words. So, Mrs. Hill.
Thank you, Mayor Mulligan. Boy, after listening to these two, I don't know if I need to get up here or not. You think after 11 years I'd be all right, wouldn't you? Thanks again to Mayor Mulligan, and my name is Patricia Hill, and I'm the widow of the late Robert Sonny Hill. To our council members, Middletown citizens, visitors, and friends, good evening. Thanks to the city of Middletown for giving my family and me the time to present this humanitarian award in honor of Sonny. After all, this is the mayor's night, and I appreciate him giving us some of his spotlight time and sharing this award. I'd like to say special thanks to Amy Shank, who helped me get through this, and I'd also right now like to introduce my family, my son Robbie, Georgia. My sister-in-law, Jackie Phillips, I think is here. Hi, Jackie. And also my son, Mark, who lives in Chillicothe. He's not able to come, but he sends his special thanks to the city. And Patrick. Oh, hi, Patrick. I didn't know you had gotten here. My son, Patrick. I would just like to say that Sonny was on the city council for 12 years, and in 2001, he was made mayor of Middletown for 1 year. As of June the 22nd of this year, Sonny has been gone for 13 years, and it hasn't been a day that he hasn't been missed. I had some eye surgery done, and I told Patrick, my son, that my eyes stay watery all the time. And he says, well, Mom, you can't tell it's your surgery or that you cry all the time. Sounds just like him, doesn't it? Sonny loved, I still call it the second ward, but I know now they say we don't have a ward, but his passion was for the second ward in the city of Middletown. He loved his family, his Tridestone Lodge, and also Tridestone Baptist Church. The renaming of the community center in 2010 was a great event for our family, and we are so very proud of it, and it is simply beautiful. I go past it at least 4 times a week because it's right 1 block up from the church, my church, Tridestone Baptist Church, and I go to church. And I also go to Kroger's 2 or 3 times. So I pass the building at least 3 and 4 times a week and just look at it. Just so proud of it. This is the 11th annual humanitarian award given in honor of Sonny, thanks to the city. This year's recipient always had a special place in Sonny's heart. And Sonny had the highest respect for him, and that is Reverend Gregory Tyus. Before I have Reverend Tyus come up, I would like to introduce Mrs. Tyus, if she's here with us this evening. I'd like for her to stand and be recognized also. Because you know, when you have a husband that works hard, the wife works just as hard. I have a few things to say about Reverend Tyus. For a couple years after I had retired from Armco, I went to Creekview School as a teacher's aide for a couple of years. And one day in the cafeteria while the kids were having lunch, Reverend Tyus walked into the cafeteria and all the kids got up and ran and hugged him. And I asked one of the other teachers, I said, do they know Reverend Tyus like that? And she said, yes. She said, him being on the school board, and he stops in from time to time, and they know him. And I thought that was so precious, how they felt about him. Reverend Tyus is very active in the community and very highly respected. He is the pastor of United Baptist Church here in Middletown, and his work speaks for him. When Sonny became too ill after being diagnosed with cancer, he asked Reverend Tyus to take his seat on the council, and Reverend Tyus acknowledged Sonny's wishes, and I thank him very much for this. So I'd like to have Reverend Tyus come down now.
Congratulations, sir. Take a moment to read this citation we're presenting to Reverend Tyus this evening. In memory of Robert Sonny Hill, Jr., who served on Middletown City Council for 11 years, Sonny was elected in 1993, soundly defeating 4 opponents for a city commission seat representing his 2nd Ward. At the first meeting of the City Commission in 1994, Sonny was elected vice chairman and was named chairman the next year. In 2001, Sonny became the first African American mayor of the city of Middletown. Gregory Tyus is being honored and recognized for his hard work, tenacity, and vision, which have contributed to the progress of our community. Gregory Tyus is the senior pastor of United Missionary Baptist Church in Middletown, a position he has held for the past 24 years. In March 2018, he will be celebrating 25 years with the United Missionary Baptist Church. Gregory was appointed to serve on the Middletown City Council, completing the term for 18 months for the late Robert Sonny Hill upon his transition to eternity. Gregory was the co-founder and board chairman of Malachi, Inc., a nonprofit organization that served and existed for 16 years in Middletown, serving youth until the merger with CBI, which now has responsibility for the Robert Sonny Hill Community Center. Gregory has previously served or worked with a number of boards and foundations throughout the area: the United Way, Middletown Action Council, the Middletown Community Foundation, Middletown City Schools Board of Education, and Midfest International, just to name a few. Because of his passion for education and the youth of our area, he was recently appointed to a 3-year term as liaison at the Butler Technology Center Board of Education as a representative for the Middletown City Schools. A native of Cincinnati and a veteran of the U.S. Army, Gregory is the husband of Linda L. Reese Tyus, and together they are the parents of 6 adult children and 21 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. Boy, oh boy. Gregory, that must be a fun Christmas. Gregory Tyus' hard work, energy, and dedication has positively impacted the city of Middletown, its citizens. His legacy of service will stand as a hallmark for others to emulate. Congratulations, Reverend Tyus. Thank you for all your hard work. So, thank you. We'll have to get a picture. Thank you for your support there. So, all right. You want to offer a couple of words?
We're trying to get direction to get a photo, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I didn't see that in the back there. All right. Okay. Now you can offer a couple words.
Well, it's dangerous to have a Baptist preacher, Father Seville, give a couple of words because we don't know what that means. But I first want to give honor to God, who is truly the head of my life, to Mr. Mayor, City Council, members of the school board, and I made my wife come up, stand with me because many people don't know who she is. And so I wanted to make sure that you know who my wife is because she is really the reason that I'm able to do what I do. I also want to say thank you to the United Missionary Baptist Church who took a chance on me 24, almost 25 years ago, or as Adam Jackson says, almost a quarter of a century ago, and allowed me to come here. I have to admit to Mrs. Hill, when she called and asked me to receive this award, I answered too quick. I told her yes. And then I thought about the award, thought about what it really means. And I looked it up and it says, seeking to help humanity and for humanity to get better. So today I was thinking about, where do you get all this from? I thought about my mother, who transitioned to heaven in 2011. I remember Mom was an Avon salesperson. If you know anything about Avon, you'd buy the products, and a good Avon salesperson would always give you samples. Well, what I didn't know, but I found out through my mother, she had to buy the samples. And Mom bought a lot of samples, and us 4 children had the responsibility of putting the samples in the bags. And I distinctly remember asking my mother, and I'm Daisy's baby boy in case you want to know, why do you do that? And she says, that's just to try to help somebody else. And so as I thought about this award, and I've never been nervous about getting an award before, I got nervous about it because that's all I seek to do. I thank Middletown for embracing me. I could call names upon names: the Holloman family, the Nine family, Schaefer family. The list can go on and on and on, and I'll be in trouble because I'll miss somebody. Middletown has been great to me, and I hope and I pray that I've been just as great to her. To the Hill family, I thought the world of Sonny Hill. Sonny always said he was going uptown to help our city. He was always going uptown. And I never figured out where uptown was until he got sick and he asked me if I would take his seat and fulfill his term. And it was a joy to fill those 18 months for Sonny. But that let me know that my real passion, it was at Creekview. It's with our children. Because I learned that if we don't do and we don't take care of our children, then none of us that sit in here today that are not children will have anything left in life. So that's all I try to do, is try to help somebody's child. Kids, this is a big secret. I see the little children here. A lot of kids think I know them, and I really don't. But I act, every child, I don't care what their nationality, their race is, I try to reach out to them as if I know them. Because I just might know their aunt or their uncle, their mom or dad, and some positive word might help them do the right thing in life. So I thank Mr. Mayor Mulligan for this opportunity, and Mrs. Hill and the Hill family for this award. Of all the plaques and awards I've received, I certainly will cherish this the most. And again, I say thank you to my wife, Linda. Thank you.
All right, now we'll move on to the swearing-in ceremony. I'd like to welcome again Pastor John Seville for our invocation for the swearing-in. Can you work up another one? I can call Reverend Tyus if you'd rather. He could probably stand in, so. All right. Reverend Tyus.
Well, see, now people are going to figure it out. Me and John are friends. That's going to mess up everything now. You know, the Catholics and the Baptists are getting together, you know. Yeah. Let's bow. Our Lord and our God, our Creator, we thank you for this opportunity to share on this night. We thank you for those persons who have stood up to say that I will lead this city as council persons. So we ask that you might bless this swearing-in ceremony, not only bless those that will embark upon this new journey in their life, but those that yet sit on council and our mayor. Continue to bless our city, that we might be the people that you're calling for in these last and evil days. For it's in your name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Tyus. In terms of our city charter, the reason we're here tonight, Article 2, Section 2, City Council. Effective January 1, 1994, there is hereby created a city commission, which effective January 1, 2001, shall be named City Council, consisting of 7 electors, residents of the city of Middletown, who shall be nominated and elected as provided in the charter, and shall exercise all powers, authority, rights, legislative, executive, and administrative, now vested in and exercised by the city of Middletown and its several officers. All powers, authority, and rights vested in or granted to the City of Middletown, its prior legislative authorities, and members thereof shall, subject to the provisions of the Constitution of the State of Ohio and of this charter, be vested in, possessed, and exercised by said City Council and the several members thereof, or under their direction. Effective January 1, 2014, the number of electors, residents of the City of Middletown, composing City Council shall be reduced to 5. Effective January 1, 2014, City Council shall be comprised of 4 City Council members and the Mayor of the City of Middletown, all of whom shall be elected at large by all qualified electors of the City of Middletown. In Section 5, Paragraph 2, meetings of Middletown City Council. Newly elected City Council shall take the oath or affirmation of office and shall otherwise qualify for office during December next following their election, and their term of office shall commence on the first day of January following such election. Tonight we welcome Amy Vittori and Joe Mulligan for their swearing in. Administering the oaths this evening will be Middletown Municipal Court Judge Melinda Cook Howard. Judge? Yep. What's that? Do I have the oath? They have it right here. Yep.
Okay, I can make one up.
No.
Please step forward. Don't fall either. That'll make a scene. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Amy Vittori,
Do most solemnly swear
do most solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Ohio,
and the state of Ohio,
and the laws of the state of Ohio,
and the laws of the state of Ohio,
and the charter and ordinances of the city of Middletown,
and the charter and ordinances of the city of Middletown,
that I will not be influenced
that I will not be influenced
by any consideration
by any consideration
except that of merit and fitness
except that of merit and fitness
in the appointment or discharge
in the appointment or discharge
of employees,
of employees,
that I will not make or authorize
that I will not make or authorize
expenditures of public money
expenditures of public money
other than for adequate consideration
other than for adequate consideration
and efficient service,
and efficient service,
and that I will,
and that I will,
in all respects,
in all respects,
faithfully discharge the duties
faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the City Council member
of the office of the City Council member
of the City of Middletown,
of the City of Middletown,
Butler and Warren Counties,
Butler
State of
and Warren
Ohio.
Counties, State of Ohio.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you're going to sign, hold on. And then you have some remarks to prepare? Just say.
Sure.
Pretty signature, too.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so
I'll leave it
much.
to you.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. It's good to see so many people out and in City Council. I mostly just want to say how grateful and humble I am at the opportunity to be able to serve on council. I know that this is a great time in Middletown's history, and I feel very lucky to be here, to have the support of my family with whom I could do none of this. Yes, even you little guys. So I'm just glad that I've got this opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to all the positive changes that I know can happen for our town. And I'm glad to be here with you tonight, and I look forward to the next 4 years. So thank you all very much for your time, and if you did, for your vote. Thank you.
Joe. Mr. Joe Mulligan. Place your hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand. I, Joe Mulligan,
I, Joe Mulligan,
do most solemnly swear
do most solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and that of the State of Ohio,
and that of the State of Ohio,
and the laws of the State of Ohio,
and the laws of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of
of
Middletown,
the City of Middletown,
that I will not be influenced
that I will not be influenced
by any consideration except
by any consideration except
that of merit and fitness
that of merit and fitness
in the appointment or discharge
and the appointment or discharge
of employees,
of employees,
that I will not make or authorize
that I will not make or authorize
expenditures of public money
expenditures of public money
other than for adequate consideration
other than for adequate consideration
and efficient service,
and efficient service,
and that I will,
and that I will,
in all respects,
in all respects,
faithfully discharge
faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of City Council Member
of City Council Member
of the City of Middletown,
of the City of Middletown,
Butler and Warren Counties,
Butler and Warren Counties,
State of Ohio.
State of Ohio.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're going to sign your name here. Congratulations. You have some remarks?
I'll just echo what Ms. Vittori had to say. Council Member Vittori, and thanking you for coming out tonight. It's great to see so many faces and friends and family here in the audience. I do want to point out my dad and my mom are here tonight, Larry and Kathy Mulligan, and of course my brother Larry. Also want a special note of thanks to my campaign treasurer, Andy Swope is here. Thank you, Andy, for your dedicated service over the past several months and years before. But the facts and figures that the mayor shared during his State of the City really hit home with me, because this Middletown that we're in now is a much different place than in 2006 when I moved back here. Much better, much brighter, and certainly much better than in 2011 when I was first elected to City Council. And there's a new excitement, there's a new vibe, and I'm just looking forward to continuing to lead Middletown's comeback. And my promise and commitment to you is that we will give you a council and a city that you can be proud of, and I'll do my level best to make sure that we keep government accountable for results, and that we do reach that brighter future that the mayor discussed. So thank you again for coming tonight, and God bless.
All right, and to close this out, I will call Father Seville down to offer the benediction. How about that? He didn't get to benedict my State of the City since I ran a little long, but certainly appreciate Father Seville coming down here. Thank you.
Wow, what a wonderful city we have. Thank you, Lord. Special blessings continued for Joe and Amy and for all our public officials. May their dedication inspire us all to use our talents and our time for the good of all, so that you may be praised forever and ever. Amen.
All right. That concludes the evening ceremonies. I'd like to invite everyone to stay for, I think we got some punch and cookies and goodies outside, if that's right, Amy. Yep. So thanks for coming. And everyone have a safe and happy Christmas and holiday season and Happy New Year. Thank you.